Ogden is telling me I've probably gone too long now. Basically, members, with the stimulus package, the stimulus was about $4.8 billion. We had a $1.6 billion shortfall, which left us with $3.2 million. The base budget in Article 2 was increased by $2.1 billion, and the work group added another $1 billion, and that's where we are at this point. So if members have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
A special compensation plan? Does he get paid more? Does he get paid by the word?
Senator Uresti, for what purpose do you rise?
Will the gentleman yield for some questions?
Senator Deuell, you yield?
They tell me I've used up my words. I don't know.
He yields.
I'll yield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Deuell. Thank you, Senator Ogden, and the members of the Finance Committee. I can only imagine the hours that y'all put in to bring us this budget today, and I thank you very much. I do have some questions and some concerns, Senator Deuell, that we've talked about earlier, and Senator Ogden and I spoke about before as well. And if I may, I'd like to talk about some of those issues. According to DFPS's budget, it's my understanding that we're spending about $2.15 billion in this budget. Yet we're only spending about 4% when it comes to prevention of child abuse and neglect. And so it seems to me that we're spending about $88.9 million on the prevention aspect of it, yet we're spending about 96% after the child has either been abused or neglected or removed from the home. Definitely agree and advocate that we need to be spending monies in that regard, but what I'd like to do, Senator Deuell, is talk specifically about some of the prevention programs and the reasoning behind why we're not spending more on the prevention aspect of it. My notes, comparing them to last session, the bill that was passed by this legislature tells me that we've only increased prevention programs by 2% over the last biennium. Was there any reasoning or formulas that were used with regard to the amount of money we allocated in these prevention programs?
Well, and your point's well taken. It ultimately came down that we ran out of money. Now, somebody had, I think you and I, we've talked various times in the process, and other folks have raised this question as well. If you go back and compare with the 03 budget, the way that they allocated FTEs, that it's sometimes a little harder to compare the programs, that some of the we're not spending, you just can't compare the dollars, is what I'm saying, is that some of the programs have blended. It is an issue that I deal with professionally as a physician as well, and I don't disagree with you. We just didn't have any more money to put into that. We'll work on that in conference, but I am told, as I just said, that there's actually a little more money in that than appears on paper.
Well, and that's encouraging, but looking at the 03 budget for that biennium, we actually spent $90,388,000. We're spending in this budget $87,417,000. We're actually spending more, or spending less rather, in this bill than we were in 03. So it seems like we're definitely taking a step backwards.
Yeah. Well, I would agree we're not putting enough in, but I sent out some inquiries in anticipation of your question, and the response I got is that generally it can be said that prevention dollars have been restored in the aggregate to the 02-03 level. The biennial dollar change of $2.9 million between then and the 2010-11 base bill is attributable to FTEs and other program support costs that have either been removed as program dollars were removed or been reallocated to other strategies. Now, having said that, I'm not trying to, I think this needs to be addressed in conference because I'm a big believer in prevention. I think that's the best cure, and we'll continue whether or not I'm on conference committee, I don't know, but I intend to be involved with that and be happy to work with you on that area.
Thank you, Senator Deuell. One of the other issues on child abuse prevention, dealing with the child abuse prevention grants, and in the budget, we're allocating, in this budget, only $3,626,730. 2 years ago, we allocated $3,591,698. We've only increased child abuse prevention grants in this bill compared to last session's bill by $35,000.
Well, as Winston Churchill said, you can't argue with arithmetic. We just did not have the money.
Well, and I guess I would argue, though, when it comes to our children, we should find the money